There are a lot of things that I absolutely love about my Toyota Tacoma, but it's not everything. In fact, there's 5 things that I hate about the Tacoma, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's go. Okay, so hate's a pretty strong word, not one that I like to use lightly. So let's just say that these are 5 things that absolutely drive me insane about the Tacoma. And these are not in any particular order, but the first one is the key fob. All right, the key fob is the most plain, most basic, plastic, fewest buttons, most chintzy key fob I think I have ever owned in any vehicle. And this is my first Tacoma, but you know, if you're looking at getting a new Tacoma right now, you're looking at $40,000 to $45,000, depending on the trim level, up from there, obviously. And really, this is what it comes with, is this little tiny, you know, plastic, kind of awkward, just not great key fob. Kind of just drives me insane about it. You know, I'm not, you know, a big key fan, so I've only got one little key on there, but I really would like something that looks a little bit nicer. There are other key fobs out there, aftermarket ones that you can switch out the electronics. I'm curious, let me know down below if you've switched it out and do you like it better? Has it made a difference for you? Now, the second thing I want to talk about is actually related to the key fob, and that is the remote start. Now, this doesn't come on all models, I understand, but a lot of them, TRD, Sport, Pro, TRD Off-Road, which is what I have, it does. And you know, you look at this key fob, there's really nothing on there. It'd be nice if there was a button for the remote start. Other cars I've had have either had that button or it's been a lot easier than the remote start. With this one, it's pretty complicated. All right, so look how long that took to actually start up. That's ridiculous. And along those same lines, it's that. I've had several vehicles with remote start, and number one, the majority of them, they either have a button specifically for the remote start, or you push it once to unlock, push and hold it down, and it will remote start. In the Tacoma, you gotta unlock, hold it down, and you saw how long that took. First of all, it wasn't quick at all. And then the second part of it is, as soon as you open up the door, it automatically shuts off the Tacoma. So that's the first time I've had a vehicle where that's been the safety feature. Normally you get in, it'll keep running, then you put your foot on the gas, push the button or just tap it again, and then it will keep it on. The thing is, usually if I'm gonna use remote start, which my car parks in the garage, so I don't use it a ton, but it's because I want it to either heat up or in the summer I want it to start to kick on the AC and cool off before I get in it. That's the whole point of remote start, at least for me. So as soon as I open the door and I get in, the fact that I have to restart it is extremely annoying. It's one of the things that I really dislike about the Tacoma. And part 2 of that is it doesn't even matter, because after a year, am I correct that Toyota's gonna actually charge me $8 a month if I want to keep remote start? Are you kidding me, Toyota? For the price of a 2021 Tacoma, not to mention what you're selling them for today, you're going to charge people on top of that, even just to be able to keep a remote start that isn't that great in the first place? That's mind-boggling. The next thing that drives me absolutely crazy has to do with the infotainment center. Every time you get into the truck, the infotainment center resets on the home screen. I wish it would just stay on the original screen that I left it at. So if I've got it on radio, stay on radio. Don't switch back to the home screen every single time. If I want to switch to the home screen, let me switch to the home screen. But every time I get in the truck, it's got the home screen, then it's got the little radio widget there. I've got to click on the radio widget if I want to see the full radio. Man, that is something that absolutely drives me insane about the infotainment center. The other thing about this is just how long it takes for the infotainment center to even pull up. And this isn't just a Toyota thing. This is on a lot of cars. They've got all these messaging, they've got their branding, they've got the warning message. Really, could I just sign something when I buy it that I don't need to see the warning message every single time? If you know a way to shut that off, hey, let me know down below. I'd love to know. Man, the next thing that I think Toyota just can do a much better job on has to do with the backup camera. The camera just isn't really crisp, isn't really sharp when you consider it's a 2021. I mean, this is something that they should be able to put something that's a couple bucks more expensive from a manufacturing standpoint that gives you a much cleaner and a much clearer picture. And not only that, why not have it where the lines actually move as you're turning the steering wheel? It's funny because it's on my wife's Mazda, which is an older vehicle than what I'm driving. It was on my Nissan Maxima, which was a 2018. Just, it seems like other manufacturers have kind of figured out a much better, both from an imaging standpoint as well as from a layout and a functionality standpoint, the backup camera. Quick recap of the first four things I mentioned. The key fob just feels a little chintzy. The remote start could be much easier, and a lot of that could be fixed with the key fob and make it so that when I grab the handle, it doesn't shut the truck off. There's other ways to do that that are quite a bit better. And don't charge me after a year for me to keep the remote start. Third one, the infotainment center. I just wish it would retain where I'm at every time I'm get in, not restart to that home screen, and then that backup camera. And hey, if this is the kind of video that you like, if you're into Tacomas, if you're into trucks, adventures, mods, those kind of things, go ahead, smash like, hit subscribe. Let's grow the channel. I appreciate everybody's support on videos, on subscriptions. It's really been awesome watching the channel grow. All right, enough of that. Let's get to number 5. And the final thing on my list is that it's a little bit lethargic when you're just starting out. You know, it's not something that bothered me in the beginning. You know, I was new, first time Tacoma. A lot of people talk about that kind of gear hunting. You know, I don't feel it as much when I get up to kind of, you know, the mid speeds, right? And even once I'm on the freeway, set to cruise control, it's pretty good. But starting out off of a light, off of a stop sign, through a turn, it's just a little sluggish to get going. Now maybe a pedal commander or sprint booster would fix that. I'm curious if you've installed either one of those and you found value, let me know down below. But it just seems to be a little lethargic when it gets started. And again, I'm not trying to race it off the line, anything like that, but man, for a mid-sized truck, it's not as big and heavy as your full size. And I get it that it's not a V8 engine, but it seems like the Tacoma engine should have just a little bit more oomph to it and should be able to just kind of pick up a little bit more smoothly. It feels like it kind of struggles to get going and then kind of does that jolt when it kicks it in gear and finds that gear and then takes off. You know, once you get up to 30, 35, 40, 45 plus, it seems to get into a rhythm where it's okay. But when you're just starting out, man, it's just a little bit sluggish. I'd love to see them fix that in future versions. So those are the 5 things that absolutely drive me insane about the Tacoma. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have something else that maybe trumps something that's on my list? I'd love to hear your feedback. Hey, as always, super appreciative of everybody's watches, everybody's likes, everybody's subscriptions, helping the channel grow a ton. Like and subscribe right now, and we'll catch you in the next video. All right, peace out.